the last time when I tried changing it, because we're targeting more like young professionals and whatnot. I changed it the one time, and then I forget whose episode it was. I started going through it again. I would revert it right back. Like I actually had it memorized. I just went right back to how it was. I was like that didn't work out.
Hey, cheers to our first live podcast.
Cheers. And for people who don't know, I was having this conversation with someone. Right air.
Episode 60, what? 65?
Yeah, I'm not sure what episode this will become.
Having this microphone just makes me feel like 50 Cent or something.
Yeah, hold on a second.
You want a rap battle at the end of this?
Well, this thing says right air. I don't know what that means.
It's better than wrong air, am I right?
It's going. Yeah, it's going. We'll figure it out.
There we go. This is cool.
Yeah.
I feel so official right now.
Yeah. Get a little bit closer to your mouth.
What?
The microphone.
That's a crazy thing to say. Okay. This is better. I feel like this is too loud.
Well, that's what I need.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Like people can hear you as well. Keep talking for me.
Talk.
A little bit more. Yeah, people love seeing us troubleshoot.
Yeah, I feel like we should make a separate bloopers thing for this part.
Yeah, no, it's just all going to end up on the podcast. So what are we talking about today?
You tell me, dude. You're the brains of the operation.
Yeah, all three cameras going on right now. I want to talk about just, our general mindset. How do we go about it? Like, for you, how long have you been doing stuff on your own now? 3 years? 4 years?
Yeah, I'm in the beginning of year 4.
So how has your mindset changed from
start
to finish? From at least running your own business?
I really like that question. So at first, I was actually in a business group where it was like kind of turn my brain off and just like listen to what they said. They were very good at what they did, and I was just like, okay, whatever you guys say goes. It's just like get dumb and like help me build my business, and it worked. It was very, very helpful at the beginning, and moving forward, I've seen so many different like people who operate very similar to me do it in so many different ways and all be successful that I actually met this PT early on, and it always stuck with me because she was very like yoga and into that, like call it like the crunchy kind of vibe. And she was like, you have a lot of different opinions coming in. Like you gotta at some point you're going to want to like shut it off and just kind of like do what feels right for you. And throughout my whole like evolution business wise, there were some things that I was learning that other people have had success with, and for whatever reason, it just felt gross or yucky in a way. And I was like, all right, well, I know it works because I see so many people being successful with it, but for whatever reason, it's like internally like giving me like agita.
Ethically, you still felt like you still had like that ethical drive. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't wrong. It just like wasn't.
It didn't match your style. Yeah. Like that's not how you would approach the situation.
Right. My style is very different, and like especially with like the business coaching and stuff, they'll say like this is a way to do it. It's not the only way.
Yeah.
So like take it for what it's worth. Like learn it, apply it, use it, adapt it, kind of thing. So over the years, me being able to like manage that and turn the business into something that A, I'm proud of, and B, doesn't give me any of those gross feelings, it has been, it's always going to be a work in progress. The reason why I love owning a business so much is because it forces so much personal growth too, that I feel like I've become a different person in the best way possible. And if I had just like a normal job, I don't think I would have made nearly as much progress.
Yeah. I feel like you probably have had so much constant self-reflection, and like
almost
you
much.
have to like you kind of have to, because everything falls on you where, if you're working a job, and maybe it does, but you're so in the weeds of like what's going on within your organization, or like even like early on, like you're just more focused on like, how do I treat better in a sense, not that you aren't now, but like you're focused more on like,
I mean, you have to wear so many hats as a solo guy. Yeah. That it's very hard to focus. So because you have the clinical brain where you have to do all this stuff, then you also have the business brain, because even if you have the perfect program for someone, you can help them. if you can't communicate that in like a sales and marketing environment, they're never going to find you, or they're never going to agree to work with you. Even if you know, like, without guaranteeing, like the closest thing you can to guaranteeing, it's like, oh, I know I can help you. If you can't portray that and communicate it to them effectively, they're never going to work with you. And that person's going to either be like stuck or struggle for way longer. I used to beat myself up a lot about that, where it's like, I know I can help you, but I'm not good enough at communicating it to be able to help me help you essentially. And all of the growth there, you know, just at the end of the day, like you have to be a person and treat people like people. Everyone's different. So if you have a style of communication that doesn't agree with whatever person's in front of you, like, you have to be able to adapt on the fly. And I've seen that even in like a social environment when we're like out with friends or like people I don't know well. I've gotten so much better at doing that because you have to, my dad calls it a social chameleon, and you have to be able to adapt to the person that you're talking to. It's just going to make you an overall better communicator for sure.
I don't know. I don't even think I've ever really told this to people, especially when I was in high school and college. I personally had to, like, if I walked into a social situation, I had to walk in and, like, in my head be like, I'm going to walk in and just start asking people questions to, like, build rapport, communicate with them. And then, like, always just, one of the things I always had to think about is, like, it's all about them in a sense. Like, just keep asking about them. And so that way,
yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
like a very easy way to gain trust
100%.
in a sense.
You're being...
The microphone get...
It was a weird hold. I had to switch the hold. Yeah. Being, especially on like an introductory call where, like, for me, I'm interviewing them as much as they're interviewing me. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to figure out who's going to be able to help them best. I have to also be like I have to have my wall up too, because if I just let anyone through my door, the best doctors pick the best patients. So and me being low volume with high intent on purpose, if I bring someone in who's not very committed, even if they're like willing to, like, quote unquote commit to the entire program, I've had people commit on the front end and then fizzle out. And I didn't establish good expectations on the front end. They got confused or frustrated through the process because they were expecting to feel pain-free in 2-3 visits, but that we didn't have those conversations about expectations on the front end. And they got frustrated. They stopped, like, being consistent with, like, their home program and all this stuff. And we didn't get the outcome that we wanted at first until we made like I had to sit down, have an adult conversation and make a hard pivot in that way. And I always call it radical accountability, because even though that person didn't do their job, like, that's still 100% my fault. Because if I communicated that effectively on the front end, they would have either been like, okay, this isn't for me. Like, I don't want to work with you. And that would have been a better decision at that point. Or they're like, okay, like, I know what I have to do. I'm very clear what I have to do. And, like, I know that's what I'm signing up for. So if you have the full expectations out in front of you and you mess up, like, then that's on you. But, like, I didn't communicate what the standard was.
Yeah, I think we both do the radical accountability. Like, it's just, you have to look at every situation and look at what you could have done differently because, like, it's in your, like, it's easier to me. It's easier because then it's in your control. If 100%. You always put it that, oh, you know, I mean, from there, I couldn't run today. It was raining. Oh, I couldn't do the lift. The baby got up too early. I was too tired. Like,
right.
Like, you can't, like, and, like, for you, it's like, okay, they stopped doing their program, but I didn't communicate well enough with them to say, hey, this is what you needed to do and whatnot.
Yeah.
Even like I have Stoner, like, I'm helping him with the running program.
HIPAA, dude. Just kidding.
There's no pain behind
Shout out
it. No
Stoner.
Pain.
What's up, dude?
Stoner. But it's like, that's one of the things, and he's been great. Like, he's essentially guinea pigging.
That's also just his last name. It doesn't have anything to do with his preference.
He's not had weed in a long time. He doesn't smoke weed for his employers. You don't listen to his podcast.
That would be so funny. I mean, if we get you fired, I really apologize.
Yeah. I hope he sends us a message.
Any hooser. As far as communication goes, that is the driver to everything. Because if you have the perfect setup and the perfect program, and that person's not communicating clearly, and you're not communicating clearly, it's not going to be nearly as effective.
Yeah, I feel like the more I've done this stuff, and not to be like a negative Nancy on like specific interventions, but I feel like the specific intervention means less and less depending on how well you communicate it and how accountable they are. Mm-hmm. Like, and obviously it all depends on there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but like I would say there's a lot especially in the chronic pain realm, because it's such a multifaceted thing that like it really just comes down to communication and accountability. And like, because even on the communication side, it could be, we were talking earlier off the pod about like someone being in pain and they just kept on going through the exercise and they didn't know any better. It's like, I don't know, it's just, I'm in pain. Yeah. If they communicated it and you go, oh, you have pain with that exercise, that's adjust, like,
yeah,
that
I
fixes
gotta
the problem.
know that. Yeah, we gotta have a quick feedback loop. And a lot of the times I've been having, shout out to my wife. What's up, Rick?
Everything's still recording?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I had a conversation the other day with a new client, or a guy who was very skeptical. He's like, hey, I've spent thousands of dollars doing a bunch of different things. None of it's worked, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, well, take me through what you're doing right now. And he's majoring in the minors so hard. And what I mean by that is he's doing all these specific optimization exercises, these neurological resets, the blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, thank you for the information. What does your workout routine look like? He's like, no, I'm a lot of mobility and flexibility.
So he's
blah, blah, blah.
Is he just seeing stuff, doing it, doesn't work after a day or two, and then flips to the next thing?
There's no plan, no consistency, and it's all below the threshold that he needs. So like, I was like, all right, if all that fancy specific stuff would have an effect, it would have worked by now. So you're just like generally physically not prepared for what you want to do. And he basically just wants to walk in 18 holes of golf. He wants to walk for a full round.
Oh, yeah.
And back pain's really like lighting him up. And he's like slowly seeing golf being taken away from him, which is scary because that's like retired. It's like the only thing that he wants to do.
You retired to be able to do that every day. If you can't do it, then what was the point of retiring?
Exactly. So I told him, like, especially as you get older, I like to think about it like being like a kid, being more playful. So like the exercises that you do, obviously you have to meet where you're at and you have to know your baseline, but jumping around, being able to have that like plyometric input, I feel like that's the older you get, the more that gets lost for sure. Yeah. And also
there's like science to that too. Like type 2 fibers go very quickly if you don't train them.
Yeah. Like tendon elasticity, all these like very specific things. From a general strength standpoint and I call it like bouncy, that plyo standpoint, I was like, you just need that in like a very structured way to meet you where you're at and then like slowly progress over time. And he went like his mindset totally flipped from like, I've worked with everybody. Like I was like, dude, I'm not even trying to get you work with me. I'm just telling you what you need. And he's like, oh, can you help me with that? Like as soon as you be blunt might be the wrong word, but just very direct.
Well, people it's are not like, even just direct. It's also like that is way simpler to understand.
Yes.
Than to say, oh, your developmental neuromuscular stimulation, like you're not being able to crawl anymore, you can't roll anymore. We got to work on that, and like that stuff probably does help people, like because it is just general getting up, getting moving, and things like that. But yeah, it's like you got to be able to put a system in that they understand.
100%. You got to cut the fluff for sure. Because a lot of the times people can get very gun shy with activities that they want to do. If someone who has like that authority to them, whether it's a doctor, whoever, who's like, hey, it's unsafe, never run again. It's bad for your knees.
Yeah.
It's like every runner has bad knees. No, that's not true. So you have to be able to, maybe you have back pain right now running. Like I have a lady who just started with me who's like, hey, am I going to be able to ever run again? I'm like, absolutely. We just have to do it in a like work smarter, not harder kind of way. So the way that we taper and structure it and build ourselves back, we will have hiccups and bumps in the road, right? It's not a straight line up. It's not a straight line up and to the right. Like we have all of these good days, bad days. Work, stress, sleep, all of these other things play a huge factor into that. And that's okay. Be prepared. Like you will have bad days. And that's me being able to be very upfront about that it's not a cakewalk, I think has been able to be very helpful for my clients to be able to weather the storm, trust the process, and ultimately get to their outcome a lot faster because they know they're expecting to roll with the punches versus as soon as they have a setback, they're like, throw your hands up and like, I'm back at square one.
Well, it's also a little different. So like, right, most of the people you see, they go traditional route. So you go into PT, Chiro, you do the initial evaluation. You go, okay, we're going to do like what's the common 6 to 8 week plan of care? Is that typically like what you prescribe or something?
Me?
Yeah. Or like not for what you do right now, but back when you were working.
Twice a week for 6 to 8 weeks is usually the prescription in like the big box physical therapy.
So think about that. So people are expecting to see all their results
in 6 weeks,
right? And
crazy.
That's not going to happen. If we're talking tendon injuries, or tendon pain, like research tells us it's 6 to 12 months. Like if it's legit,
it's very, very well documented.
Yeah.
And the reason, and that's another reason why I went out on my own, did it my way, so to speak, is that, hey, 6 to 8 weeks is not because that's what this person needs. That's what insurance will cover.
Yeah.
So they want to get you in as much as possible to basically use all of your sessions because that's what gets them paid, and then try to make as much progress in that time. If you think about it from a foundational standpoint, the goal at first is always symptom relief, but that's just to get us to the starting line, right? Most people treat getting symptom relief as the finish line, which is so frustrating from my perspective because when you see someone get symptom relief and use that as their finish line, you know the increased risk of them being right back at that point, maybe 6 months to a year later, is so much higher. When you're out of pain, it's like, okay, cool. Now I can like actually make some real progress, hit all the stuff from a foundational standpoint, learn how to work smarter, not harder in like a strength setting. Then from there, you have those foundations. Then you can start ripping the important stuff, the fun stuff, whatever performance means to you, running, swimming, playing on the floor with your kids, whatever that thing is for you. At first I was, because working in the soccer world and stuff, like the term athlete got thrown around a lot. And I had a lot of people who are very physically active and they're like, they didn't identify with that. They're like, oh, I'm not an athlete. So I'm very picky and choosy when I use that word, because in my mind, if you're a retired guy playing golf 3 days a week, you are an athlete still. It's just, you're not on the PGA tour. That doesn't make you an athlete. Like, come on. Like, I have a guy right now who is so physically fit for his age, and he plays in golf tournaments where he's like in his 60s and he's beating like 20-year-olds. Like, he is legit, plays tennis, like has a very full and fulfilled life, and he like travels around and stuff. I'm like, this, like, if I could package up, if I can clone him and make 100 clients like that, like that would be my business.
Ultimately, like, you know, we could go down the rabbit hole. I'm an athletic trainer. Like, I believe that athletic trainers' roles are in public health and like, right, trying to, you know, me and you, I work in a high school full time, but you're dealing one person at a time. But ideally, I would want everyone to be like that client. Everyone to get out, 60 years old. They're always still being physically active, doing all the stuff. And it's like, how do we approach that? Like, how do we get
100%.
more people doing it? So that's really like, I want to see that so much more. It's like, how do you actually get more people to think that way, as opposed to kind of what you said? It's like for me personally, I'm like, everyone's an athlete, like, but everyone's their own form of their athlete.
Gray, yeah. And for people who, it's interesting the type of person you attract based on how you operate. So this guy, as an example, was very attracted to what I did because it's like, I call it one of the new like slogans I'm testing out, chiropractic for the committed, right? And committed being, this guy is committed to playing golf, playing tennis, being active as long as possible, right? He wants to do everything in his power that's going to keep him doing that. So if you walked into a session of ours right now, like he's at a very high level, we knocked out all his pain, he's got really good foundations. He looks like a guy like training for the PGA Tour. Like we have so many high level plyo activities, jumping around, and he's a savage. Like he really gets after it. He tries really hard, and he's very athletic. And if he went to, like, he had a chiropractor prior to me, and it was a guy that he was seeing for 20 years and whatever, and the chiropractor was just, adjusting his back, putting a hot pack on, maybe doing some soft tissue work and sending him on his way. And he was like, I just needed something more than that. So being able to have the duality of the hands-on component, where it's like, hey, if something does pop up, because you being active, there are gonna be blips on the
there's
radar.
always that risk because you can't control for every factor.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're gonna be active, just know you're gonna have sore days or like pain pop up and stuff. It's being able to manage that. That's the most important part. And then when you're feeling good, like, let's continue to rip it. Like we want to push that boundary. So he's like dialed in, like VO2 max and like all this stuff. It's so cool.
I've talked with athletes before. It was actually a high school cross country run. He came in. It was a whatever. Just I deal with a lot of kids that just they get sore pain for the first time ever. They just don't know what it is. And I had a cross country runner who he was pretty high level. I was like, hey man, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I run, and if I didn't run every time I felt something, I would almost never run.
Quit being
that's for a lot of people what you have to make them understand. Like pain is just a signal, like, or
pain is weakness leaving the body.
You could do that too, yeah. But it's like a lot of people just don't even understand that.
Yeah, it's an alert. It's on the dashboard. It's like something pops up. Doesn't mean the engine's going to explode. It's something to keep in mind and factor in. When I was in a high school setting, like during our rotations in undergrad, this girl came in. She was she worked in the theater department. Or she didn't play a sport. She was in
drama,
theater, drama, and they were in charge of setting all the basically moving all the big heavy stuff and setting stuff up and whatever. So she wasn't used to doing really any sort of physical activity, and she came in hysterically in tears. She's like, my legs are burning, whatever. I'm like, you just got a quad workout, girlfriend. Like that's what that is. Welcome to DOMS.
yeah. It is so funny the different levels. Like I forget who we had on. I think it was Paul. Like I talked about the high school, and he was like, "Yeah, I can't do that, kid."
Dude, I mean, knowing and I give him a lot of credit because he'll see someone and I'm getting better at this too. Where I see someone and you can have a conversation with someone and understand their mindset very quickly, and it's like, hey, if that's where you're at now, cool. But your mindset, if we are going to have success together, your mindset has to look like this. Is that the mindset? Is that what you want? Or do you want to stay stuck where you are to keep getting the same results that you're getting? Like if they want to stay stuck there, that's not my responsibility to move them there. It's my responsibility to be like, hey, this exists. Do you want to do that? And if they're like, no, then great. They're not fit to work with me, and that's okay. I had in my niche, I guess, you get a lot more no's than yeses, but the yeses are hell yeses. And I would much rather that where people are chiropractic for the committed. I'll say it again, right? They're so committed.
Do you want to say it a third time?
Chiropractic for the committed. Nav Rehab chiropractic. What's the word? And it's not committed to me or my process. It's they're committed to whatever their goal is. And that type of person will always have success, not just with me, with life, because if they can't find it with me, they're going to take what they learned from me and then apply it and mold it and change it and move it. And they're always moving forward. They're never staying in the same place.
Yeah. I think it's funny you say you niche and, want to look for your own avatar, stuff like that. It's I think too, you kind of look for someone who's like yourself most of the time. Where it's just and people make fun of me because I've changed jobs so many times, or I jump from one thing to the next, and it's and it's not because maybe it's part of it's boredom, but part of it is well, I just want to strive to do something more. That's kind of what you want to see, right? You want to see your 6-year-old golfer. He's I
want to be that guy.
I want to be more. I want, I want to do more. I want to be able to I'm assuming he's a scratch golfer if he's like,
Dude,
yeah, like I'm assuming he's pretty
very
good.
Like,
but like, yeah, you got to be able to drive her. Like for me right now, it's running. Although like, I would say my time, I'm still doing all the training and whatnot, but my time's getting kind of chopped up left and right between all the stuff I'm doing. But there's still like, I'm still going to drive and try to do more and see how much can I put. Because you also look at it, it's just like, I don't know, like, I feel like it'd be boring just to be like, I'll just be mediocre at everything.
Normal is boring.
Yeah,
normal is boring.
Yeah, like I don't.
And what's really cool about like being in like the entrepreneur world is you can change, like something that I am very sensitive to when I see other people do it mindset wise is when they have an identity that's very fixed and like stuck, where it's like, oh, I'm not a runner. I don't do that. It's like, you can, like, if you want to, you can, you know what I mean?
Does your dad listen to this? I got a funny story.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Because it was at your wedding the day after, and we were talking about running, and he's like, well, I feel terrible every time I run, so I just don't do it. Yeah. And it's like, well, there's a way to run and not feel terrible. Like there is like, but that's a very common thing for a lot of people to say. So it is like some people get, I'm not a runner. Just
I can't do it.
Can't do it. And I'm like, no, like this, all humans are supposed to be able to run. Like this is what we're supposed to be able to do.
Whatever you tell yourself you can or can't do, you're gonna be right regardless.
Like me personally, I'm not a swimmer. That's what I say. I'm a little bitch. All right. But it's just like, I always had this fear of swimming and whatnot. One of these days I'll never forget. It was Matt Armstead. Shout out Matt Armstead.
What's up, Matt?
Because so he does. He was training for an Ironman. I don't know.
He does triathlons, right?
Yeah. And so I remember at college, I went to go swim with him one time, and I was just like nowhere
Freaked
close.
out.
Freaked, like couldn't really like do what he was doing. So I just like gave up at 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But eventually, hell yeah, I want to do a triathlon. Hell yeah, I want to do like you can. Now my issue's time, but like if I get to a point where I got the time, like I will commit to swimming. Like I will almost drown myself a couple times to figure it out.
It's amazing what the body can go through when you have the right mindset. And some of my favorite cases to work with is I've had people come in and be like, oh, like I'm broken. And like that's their mentality. And when they leave, their mindset, that has changed about them. They're like, I am no longer broken. And it's not like we fixed something magical. It's like the main thing we did was show them what they were capable of and help them change their identity. And that is something that no one talks about, but that is where the longevity comes from. Because if you identify as a sedentary person and you do something that changes that identity to now you're an active person, that's where you see those guys who are like 500 pounds overweight and then they turn into ultra marathon runners. Like they have a fundamental shift in identity, and that's the really cool stuff.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I had a guy who was very pessimistic, I'll say, about just like feeling better and was like very much in his head and stuff. And the thing that worked the best for him was just being outrageously simple. And I was like, okay, like go for a walk. Like you would see our plan and be like, this is so much common sense. But me giving him direction, knowing that he had to report back to me from an accountability perspective, there were these things that we were able to like fit his lifestyle and plug into his life where we didn't have to do anything dramatic to start seeing results. And then like once we got that ball rolling, then we can get into specifics and like really push them. But
it is funny when anytime like I feel like I write out like a running progression for someone, I'm like, this feels so simple. But then like
first, baby.
But then the other person's always like, oh yeah, that really makes sense. Okay. I would never have thought about this. I had like every time I'm always just like
100%.
I just increased your running by maybe 5 minutes a week. Like I didn't do much.
Yeah. You for me, I'm like, I'm not going to tell you your goals. You put the target on the wall and I'll build out the steps to get there. Right. If we make a little detour, it's my job to get you back on track and like make you aware of that. Right. But if you want to run, if you have knee pain right now and you want to run like a race in a month, like a marathon, it's like, okay, maybe we have to set some expectations here that like that might not be possible, but I'm not going to ever going to completely take anything off the table and just say no at the start. If we have a couple weeks on like our beginning program, we're not seeing any changes, like that's when you put your big boy pants on, you have an adult conversation. But my goal is to focus on what you can do, not what you can't do.
Yeah, even from that planning standpoint. So like we kind of go back to the time thing. So many people want things to happen right away. And even like the majority, so even go back for you, like when I wrote out your marathon planning, I essentially told you like I want 6+ months, where like a lot of programs are 12-week, 16-week programs, and like
everyone was like, why are you starting so early? And it's like, I'm really starting from scratch, so I need that
like,
base.
But like some people will start from scratch 16 weeks and send it. Like that's a very common thing
Good
to
for
do.
them.
And I was 18. Like I legitimately was just like, I need to feel like I am fully prepared for that. And I think a lot of people just don't want to take that time. But it's like, if the kind of what we talked about before, if you actually like, hey, this is how much time it's going to take, this is why we're going to work together for this long, I think people see it and go, okay, that makes sense. Also, I think people should feel better about it, because like if you go, hey, you need 6 months, not 6 weeks, they'll be like, oh, I feel like it should, like, oh, that makes more sense. Like 6 weeks felt like I was rushing anyway.
Yeah, 6 weeks definitely feels rushed, for sure. There's time, like time can be on your side big time if it's presented in the right way. If you're like, oh yeah, 2 weeks, no way. Like the amount of progress that, think about anything, learning, because really what we're doing behind the veil is skill acquisition. We're learning new skills. Think about the first time you played a sport. Like you sucked at first and then you got better. Like rehab and like getting out of pain is no different. Like you're going to suck at it first, and then you're going to get more competent, and then you're going to be able to like build on your foundations, build your skills, sharpen your sword, whatever you want to call it. That's all it is at the end of the day. We just have to do it in a progressive way where we can hit milestones and checkpoints just like you're in a video game. And as long as you can feel that you're making progress, and we can track from like a data standpoint that you're making progress, we can keep taking steps and like push it as far as you want to go.
Yeah.
Go.
No, I need
fix yourself.
I don't know. I really want like another coffee. That might sound bad.
You want to pause? This is
Courtney.
I mean, I got to pee, so let's.
I think we can pause. Part one. How do we want to synthesize that? What did we just learn here? I mean, it's just, I feel like just total mindset shift. Like, and
the mindset behind everything.
For us, like even like if it's young clinician, it's like you have to set that mindset up that like think based off what you said. Things take time, and you got to be able to communicate that.
And allow yourself to suck at first. I feel like that's not said enough. I feel like I say that all the time. This is literally a new skill you've